So today we're going to talk about how a tweet about my personal stance of what I would do in a situation of abortion got me called a sexual assault shamer. Okay. First of all, 1 in 3 women have been sexually assaulted. It is definitely a personal matter. It's nothing that you have to tell anyone else about. I think it's very weird when we start these shaming tactics like, oh, well, this didn't happen to you. Anyway, let's get into the story. Please do not think this is going to be your average pro-choice, pro-life debate, because there's no sides anymore. And I want to break that down. There's no more, this pro-choice, pro-life paradigm. It's absolutely false. We'll get into that. And then we'll also get into why the For You tab of Twitter is literally it's causing people to fight. It's causing divide and conquer. We'll get into all of that, but please, I will be very brief on all of this, but I need you guys to watch to the end because it's gonna make a lot of sense if you watch to the end. The tweet that I made: if I got raped, I'm still keeping my baby because it's mine. Through hell or high water, nothing can stop that. So I can't relate to a lot of y'all. Stay blessed. Now, context matters, right? Context matters. So this was actually in response to Krishan and Blueface going back and forth on the timeline. I guess he was exposing her for not doing laundry. Whatever he was exposing her for this specific day. We know how tumultuous they are. But as you know, Krishan is pregnant. So this particular day was about 24 to 48 hours straight where people were just on the timeline saying nothing but abortion jokes. Oh, I would have been got rid of that baby. I would have threw that baby out the window. I would have done this. I would have done that. So in response, I said, even if, so the even is implied, obviously. Even if I got raped, I would keep my baby. Now, people do this thing in society where they will be shocked and outraged, but very selectively. And I feel like the reason that they do that is to stop from having real conversations. First of all, within these last couple of years, the abortion topic has been out in the forefront because of all of these abortion laws that people are fighting back against, controversial, whatever. But we've been having these conversations out in the forefront. Let me ask you all, and be very honest about this. You can answer this in your head, obviously. But when you are talking with people and they ask you, would you ever get an abortion? And you say, no, I wouldn't really get one under any circumstance. What is the next thing that they always ask you? And it happens in every single conversation. That's why I can't get with the whole super outrage because people are talking about abortion and if they would have an abortion in the case of rape. That is what it always comes down to. They say, well, what if you were raped? So if you go and you scroll down and you look at the actual thread, it also shows more context because I say, I had a woman that I used to work with ask me that in the case of me being raped, would I still keep the baby? I said yes, and this made her mad. So now you have a lot of people basically attacking me, talking about I'm creating a rape fantasy for myself and all this other dumb shit, talking about if you've never been raped, you really shouldn't speak on the topic. If you've never been sexually assaulted, you shouldn't be shaming sexually assaulted. So now it went from my personal stance on rape, talking about Krishan and Blueface abortion jokes, which some of you might not realize that there are pro-choice people that do not find abortion jokes amusing or funny. That's not a pro-choice, pro-life debate. That's just a simple human decency thing. If by the same logic that people are saying this tweet about my personal thoughts on abortion are shaming sexual assault victims or shaming rape victims because I haven't been raped, haven't been sexually assaulted, mind you, 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted. You do understand that number, right? So how hypocritical of people to tell me that I haven't. The if I got raped implies if I got raped and impregnated, I would still keep my baby. You understand how quick people will turn and flip and deflect a conversation when they don't just want to talk about what the reality is at hand, which is I'm keeping my baby in under any circumstance. You actually have people on here talking about 2 dead babies is better than 1, like taunting me. More abortion jokes. This woman who is big on Twitter actually found this tweet And she goes, some of us have actually been raped. This really should have stayed in the drafts. Nobody fucking cares what you would do with your hypothetical rape breeding fantasy. Mind you, she dresses up like a child and always lusts over nothing but white men. She's a black woman. Okay. Her name is Love Dove Clark. She might even make a TikTok about me, who knows, but she said this went from this user follows you to this user blocked you. Honey, I never blocked you. I made my post private. I made my page private. She's claiming that I blocked her. This is how people lie, right, on a thread. Some of these things I'm just saying because when I go viral on Twitter, I promise you, I mute and block. I don't have time for the low vibrational energy. A lot of times you have to realize people that are grown and are adults that actually have time to be under a thread just constantly attacking someone, that's very low vibrational energy. And a lot of times these are not necessarily people that I want to be accepted by. Another thing that I've noticed when I go to these people's pages, they're the type to obsess over celebrities hard. If you know me personally, that's not necessarily something I want to associate myself with. The abortion conversation is out there. It's being had. It's just that for some reason, when you have any pro-life sentiment, because if you guys want to know, I am pro-life, but I'm not pro-life for me. I feel like what y'all have to understand though is I'm not going to go around and be hush hush about my stance. I've had friends that have gotten abortions. I've had family members that have gotten abortions. Who would I be than to let them know, hey, I feel like a baby's heart that develops in 6 to 8 weeks, baby's lungs, I feel like that is a living, breathing thing. If we can understand that pro-choice people basically feel that that baby that's in your stomach is nothing but tissue, and we understand that pro-life people actually think that this is a soul, this is a human being, maybe we can at least come to some type of understanding that we're not going to change. We're not going to change each other's minds, but hopefully there can be some type of a cohesive society that is able to, like I said, that same logic that people want to take that tweet about my personal stance in the situation that if I was raped, I'm going to keep my child. You have to understand, I feel that I already feel the presence of my children before they are even here. I feel like my children are somewhere asking to be born. And I know that sounds weird for some, but until you have a womb and until you are able to feel this energy, I don't think that you necessarily can tell anyone what they should do, what they shouldn't do. All you can really do is be open and honest about your stance. If there was somebody that was racist, I would want to know that. I don't want for things to be hush hush and under the surface. I like to know where people really stand, how people really feel. So although I saw abortion jokes on my timeline, I didn't necessarily block all those people. I didn't go and I didn't cuss them out. I stated my stance. This is the last thing that I want to get to, the For You tab on Twitter. This is why a lot of people have been in situations where they're getting all these random people like attacking their tweets and just causing a lot of divisiveness. In my opinion, this is a tactic. You could even say another tactic of COINTELPRO, but we won't get into that. It's just another divide and conquer tactic to get people that basically are not on your regular timeline and have your regular stances. Like if I would have just put that on my timeline with no For You tab, all of those pro-choice, I'm talking super pro-choice people were just so mad at my tweet because I feel like that is how Twitter wanted that to be. They set us up. They want people to fight. They want people to argue. I'm just simply going to leave this video up here because I want the truth to be known. People can sit in the thread and make stuff, make stuff different than what it is, but honestly what it comes down to is the fact that they're just mad at my pro-choice stance. I will keep my baby under any circumstance. I can say that. I can be just as open and honest with that, just like people can about murdering babies and getting rid of babies. Think about it. Why is one side of the equation, one side, right? And the reason I say there's no sides is because there are several pro-choice people that don't like abortion jokes. There are several pro-life people that don't give a damn what you do. They have their own specific wants and needs for themselves. They're past the point of telling people you do this or no. But it's like, at the same time, who would I be to not tell you what I know? Of course you have that choice. You also have a choice to tell people that are closest to you, hey, this is something you might want to know. Some pro-choice people have not even assessed that some pro-life people are actually only telling them that, hey, abortion affects the mother mentally and physically, which a lot of people don't know. You know, there's just a lot of nuances to the abortion talk, but I feel like if we all can just be more transparent about how we feel and not try to deflect other people's opinions by saying you're talking about this knowing damn well they're not, you just don't like the fact that they have the stance that you do not, then maybe this will be a better world and a better life. But I'm not gonna lie about that. I feel like I hear my children speaking to me sometimes. That's gonna sound batshit crazy for some, but I know that my children are souls out there. So when I said even if I was raped, my logic behind that is, yeah, rape is very, it's a traumatic experience. Again, I'm not gonna say whether I haven't. 1 in 3 women have been sexually assaulted. That's crazy to try to point the finger and say somebody hasn't been. Like, the hypocrisy of it all is actually crazy. But my logic is having an abortion after the rape to me would be the next traumatic experience, because then I'm taking away something that is a part of me, whether I like how that happened or not. That is my stance. I'm going to continue to be true to me, and I hope that everyone else has, the decency, the ability to just be so confident in their own mistakes that you don't take someone else's personal and isolated choice as an attack and feel shame because you're not happy with the decisions that you make. Nobody should be able to make you feel shameful if you are happy with their decisions. And I'll leave it there.